Episode 17. We have Syukri Rahim, also known as Madullar. Hey, this guy is pretty fucking talented, bro. He's half filmmaker and mostly a musician, a music composer. Right, film scoring is no stranger to his routine. And of course, not to mention Kembara short film. It's like directed and written and shot, edit, and also music composed by himself. Probably jack of all trades. But he sees himself more of a musician right now at this moment. He wants to release an LP, release an album, and all that kind of stuff. On this episode, we talk about life and what is it like to be dealing with depression himself, and how it feels like, and how sometimes it's okay to actually not be okay. Yeah, one of those taboo things to talk about, but not so much of a taboo to me. And his perspective towards the world is probably a little bit different than the rest. Alright, hello Kopi podcast with Syukri Rahim. Test. Hello, Kopi podcast. Today we have Syukri Rahim.
Hello,
AKA
Madullar.
What is up, man? Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. How would you describe yourself, bro? What do you do for a living, and how young are you, bro?
Currently I just finished doing my bachelor degree in cinematic arts.
Right.
Right now I'm currently unemployed. It's just that I prefer to do my own stuff for now. I do freelancing music.
Right.
And right now I'm focusing more on my career path towards music.
Cool. So you studied in Multimedia University, right?
Yeah.
How long were you there?
I had 1 year of foundation in creative multimedia back in Sawijaya.
All right.
And then I continued my degree in MMU Iskandar Putri, which is in Johor.
So you would you describe yourself as a filmmaker, more of a filmmaker, or a musician?
That's the thing. It's so hard for me to actually put myself in a category of whether I am a filmmaker or a musician, because when I try to put myself promote myself on Instagram, I was kind of don't know which one to put as whether a musician or a filmmaker, so I just put film and music.
Right.
So it's up to you to decide whether you want to see me as a filmmaker or a musician. So
how would you see yourself? Like, what made Syukri Rahim today? Like, how was your childhood like, and how did you become this eccentric soul, bro?
Eccentric soul.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I believe a lot of people have a lot of upbringing that what makes us really different. So I think that if people were to brought up the same way, I feel like everyone will be the same despite their different personalities and characteristics. And I do believe that what made me now, who am I now, is that I am more curious with things in life, actually.
Right.
I started filmmaking because I wanted to know more about film. So I enrolled in filmmaking because out of curiosity. Okay. So I was a music fan for a long time, and then during my first year in degree, one of my friends who is a musician decided to introduce me with Ableton and MIDI keyboards and everything. I got interested, and straight away I got hooked.
How young were you then?
I was only 19. I started my first music, and
you are 20.
I'm 22 now.
22 now, turning 22.
I'm turning 22.
Wow, you are so young, bro. Technically, you're 21 years and 363 days old.
Oh, that's very specific.
We're 2 days away, man, from his birthday, right?
Yeah.
As of this recording. Okay, so how would you describe your childhood, man? Were you a happy kid? Were you fragile, or How was your upbringing like? You grew up here, right, in Bukit Jelutong?
No, actually,
where were you from originally?
I was born in Seremban.
Seremban.
But people don't think I am a Negeri Sembilan born.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because my family moved a lot, so we never really had, me and my siblings, we never really had like close friends.
Right.
Quote unquote, people say childhood friends in a way. So we just got each other throughout our childhood.
What do you think was a factor that made you the creative person that you are today? What formed your habits, your choices in life as a kid?
As a kid,
yeah. What made you to stay in the room and make music instead of go out, to mingle, to party, or you know what I mean?
It's funny because I do go out and party, but it's just that I'm not a very social media kind of person, so I don't really update a lot of stuff online. So people don't really know how people who know me online, they don't know how I socialize.
I see.
Because I try to be more close with my friends, really.
Within your circle of friends.
Yeah, I mean, if people know me, they know who I am, rather than know me based on my Instagram. So I find it kind of, I would say, reserved.
That would be how you describe yourself, a reserved person. You think you choose to be reserved, or you were born that way?
I sort of like acknowledge that my privacy is a bit invaded when I post stuff online, and I don't think Insta story should be a window for someone to look at my life. So I only pick and choose whatever I want to post, mostly about work, really.
Exactly. So right, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, what was the question? I mean,
my question was how was your character formed as a person? That enhances your creativity, because you can see the common traits of creative people. They are more reclusive, they are more into themselves. Do you think it's because you have that character that made you sharpen up your creativity, or it's the other way around?
I don't know.
Were you born creative and then it made you reclusive, or were you reclusive and then it made you creative?
I would say I'm a person who, I don't think I was born creative. I think I make myself creative. I don't know whether I am creative or not. It's just that I to be honest, I don't believe in when people tell you to be creative and all that, because I feel like you just need to follow your heart. So if you do things sincere enough, it will be it will turn out good. Regardless of whatever you're doing, it will be good. And it will, as long as you're being genuine with your work. Who cares if it's not creative? It's still good. It will be good. Trust me.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, to me, I don't think I would label myself as creative. I would say I'm more of an honest person, honest artist in a way.
Right.
Like I don't know whether I make sense now, but I feel like what the traits that like whatever I'm doing is that I always keep it very personal. I always try to make it genuine, and just follow my feelings, and I think that's the only way of me channeling my creativity.
Okay.
Because I don't,
Alright. So when you found out that, was it before MMU or during MMU that you found out that you like making music on Ableton?
I would say I'm a very huge fan of music.
Or even before?
Even way before. I had a phase of, I don't look like a metal band fan, right? But I was, and I kind of like it now.
Okay.
So I have like a wide range of music interests.
Right.
So you can ask me any genre that I listen to a lot. So because out of curiosity, I tend to make music, and that's where I am now. Like sort of make music. I make music because curiosity. So
Right. Okay. Do you had like a training, childhood training, like piano classes, music classes, and all that, or were you more of a self-taught person?
I was classically
trained.
training.
Wow. Shit.
I was classical.
Was it a piano?
Piano, yeah.
Damn.
And only until grade 3 because we
Right.
couldn't afford.
Yeah, but that's all you need, man. The initial understanding, the basic, right?
I feel like if you have soul in doing something,
You would do anything to understand it.
regardless of like background, regardless of your background, you will be. It will. I don't know. I don't believe in you have to go to classes kind of thing, because a person who wants to show his emotion and his feeling, his story through a canvas, they would find it easy to paint it, because even though they don't know how to paint in the first place, they will find a way to make with good effort, because I feel like classes and training is just a fast forward button for you to do stuff. It's more like double time of the amount of time to finish your work.
Right.
So the advantages of being classically trained is that you got extra time to finish your work.
Okay.
So that's how I see it.
So okay, since you brought up that topic, let's talk more about MMU, Multimedia University, the one that you went to, your college, your bachelor's degree.
I see.
How was the whole experience like?
It kind of being one of the few people who actually do music and really want to explore more. It's kind of interesting because it's interesting because people actually notice whatever you're doing, really, because there's very few people who do sounds music in MMU. So
since the first day, your identity was already the musician.
yeah, that's the thing, because during my first year, a senior of mine, Chloe Yap, heard the first song that I did. My first attempt in music.
She is actually an audio engineer as well, or
No, she's a film director.
Okay,
she's
cool.
a filmmaker. When she first heard my music, she was like, "Oh, can you do a music score for my film?" I was kind of honored in a way. So I sent her like draft so she kind of interested. So her for her final project, she approached me again to do it for her, and yeah, that was quite interesting. She's a very interesting filmmaker. She's one of a few people who actually appreciate what I'm doing in the school, really.
Right.
Like that. I don't want to get too political about that.
All good, man. We are free. We can talk about anything.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm not talking about MMU, but in institute-wise. Wait.
How's the coffee, man?
Bitter. How I like my emotions.
Oh my god. Okay, thanks, dude.
Okay, that's the thing. When it comes to something that has to do with an institute or a body of people, or how to say, when it comes that involve huge amount of people working together, for example, a government body, an NGO, or a university, let's just say.
Okay.
For some reason, it will be a cat eat cat kind of world, dog eat dog kind of world. So it will be hard because especially when you're in a talent-based industry, it's very, very hard actually to prove yourself, and some people would go to the extent where they would demonize others to get to the top. So it's very, very
understand. It's a
dangerous.
competitive.
Yeah, it's a very competitive, not in a healthy way sometimes.
Even in college itself, right?
Yeah,
wow,
college
shit.
especially. Like to get the recognition is very unhealthy. So the whole experience of getting into this creative realm and involving the people.
Okay.
So that's what makes me more reserved and more introverted, maybe.
Yeah, it's okay, man. You have to be self-aware and be yourself and be comfortable with however makes you as possible, right?
Yeah.
What about MMU that you like the most?
The lecturers,
Yeah?
the friends, those are the things that I cherish the most throughout my 3 years.
Would you say for someone who is actually 18-year-old now, just finished high school, would you recommend them, if they want to get into films, to go into MMU and to go through the traditional path of 3 years to actually get to where you are right now, or they can actually skip that and do their own?
Universities teach people life lesson that it's hard for you to find it outside, because in universities they have people, for example lecturers, who are genuinely want to teach you, and outside you have people who would you will get the same experience but in a different way. You either, for example, if you go to university, you make mistake and the lecturers will tell you, hey, it's wrong to do this, and therefore you learn from it. So unlike the outside world, if you learn by yourself, you make mistake through your work and the thing that people paid you for it, and people will teach you through you will get the same experience by making mistake and get scolded, and then you improve from it.
It's a harsher reality.
Yeah,
outside.
harsher reality.
Okay.
So I think if you want to have like a proper way, go to university. If you want to tougher way, I would say just do whatever you like. Just go and do it. Just go out and shoot. Go out and do music. So yeah.
But how would they, like, let's say they don't have that connections, right? Because you guys by default, you guys will build friendships between yourself. Like you have the musician, you have the director, the cinematographer, the AD, whatever. But how do you form that if you're not in film school?
Oh, there's a thing.
That would be a problem, right?
That would be a problem too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, university really makes you have a lot of connection, especially if you're doing well in school, and the lecturers will of course recommend a lot of like interested people to you. So
yeah, so definitely worth a try. Go to MMU and go to film school, guys, if you want to get into films.
Yeah,
right?
if you really love doing films or whatever, just go. It's not just film really. If you guys love whatever you guys want to do in life, just go on with it. Don't think about money. Money is different story.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about your final project, Kembara, the short film, right? Okay, first of all, I have a feeling that it's based on a true story. Is that true?
Partially, it's
inspired by a true story.
It's a dramatized version of my teenhood. It's more like a farewell to my teenhood, really.
Right.
Yeah. Sort of like I want to grow up. Therefore, I'm leaving this phase with a film.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was the writing process like? Do you have you always had the script in mind, or was it like something that you were brave enough to try out?
Exactly 1 year ago, I had this idea in head.
All right.
Throughout my internship, I had like, I want to tell a story about this. Not until the pitching process where it start to develop itself. So it's more like the whole journey is like pregnancy. You know how the zygote turns into an embryo turns to a baby, and the baby shapes.
Right.
Yeah, that's how the whole idea, from idea to a concept, and a concept becomes a log line becomes a script becomes a film. Yeah.
So you originally had that idea a year ago, exactly?
Yeah, exactly a year ago.
Yeah. And then how did you came about? How many drafts were there?
I think 17.
70 drafts.
17
drafts before
70. I'm not
before the final one, right? Cool. How do you expect yourself to be chosen to be one of the finalists for the script pitching?
I was never got accepted to direct anything throughout my degree years until that project. So it was my debut directing. So you can see a lot of flaws. So I learned from that
What have you learned the most throughout the process of shooting?
during the production.
Yeah, during the production itself.
Never compromise too much.
Yeah.
I need to be stricter to my production more.
Yeah.
I need to, because in the end, because I never directed anything before in my life.
Okay.
So that was my first directing. So I thought of compromising would be it's as long as I got the shot, and I would like to compromise the time and all that. But I never knew that now I feel the hate, the hatred towards myself during that part
For not
for
being-
compromising
Oh,
too
right.
much. And I really I would say when I look at Kembara, it's, to me, I feel like there's a lot of things that I can change, but
Okay.
it just have to end somewhere. So
Right.
the premiere on the 1st of July was the end of it. I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere from there.
Okay.
So
Right. So, how was the casting process like? You as a first-time director, what do you look for in those actors and in those characters? On those actors that played their characters. What do you look in them? How many casting process, or while you were writing it, you already had someone in mind? How was it like?
the characters are very, very. They seem, when I wrote it, they seem very real to me. So I straight away think of the people around, like who can play this character straight away. So I go and ask that person, because I don't do custom process actually.
So you already have someone in
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
while
like-
you're writing it. Cool.
Actually, because not just one person, but specifically actually, I have few people. For example, Lee's character, I have like 3 people who can play this. Jane's character, I have
you
2.
still have like
So
to
let's just say
filter.
this one is not available whatsoever. I have the another options.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So not just directing, right? You also edited it, did you?
I
Kembara.
wrote it, I directed it, I edited it,
And you did the film score as well.
the film score
Shit, dude.
and the sound design.
So for those of you, I don't know, because this won't be aired until 3 weeks from now. I guess they don't have a chance to see it online unless they see it right now, right? FCA showcase, right?
That's
man.
so sad.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Kembara is a short film directed by Syukri, and he edited it. He did everything basically, like
Mostly.
probably 80% of the work. Nah, I guess 70% of the work.
70, except for some of the production design,
Damn.
the cinematography, lovely.
Right.
And some of the writing, I co-write it with my friend.
Right. How do you feel when the whole project is done, it's all out there? When okay, let's say during the screening, 1st of July, right? How did you feel about the whole thing, the whole film?
It's not done. that was the first thing that crossed my mind. I was like, it's not done. It's not done yet. But lecturers and friends and family, not family actually, my sibling, come and tell me, you might not feel proud about it, but we as people who witness it happen, we are proud of it. So it kind of make me feel like, hey, that's not so bad. It's just that for some reason, a validation from someone else sort of like inspired me to stop in a way, thinking that it's not
To
done
let it
yet.
go,
Yeah,
yeah.
to let it go, really. Yeah.
I guess like you have that inner artist in you that criticize your own work and want it to be better,
Yeah,
right?
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Cool.
like that.
Right. Okay, let's talk about music for a moment. How do you get inspired to write? Like, what is your process? Do you sample stuff? Do you write it from scratch? You have a piano, a keyboard, a MIDI. How do you actually get your chord structure on when you turn on Ableton? How do you get started?
I have to get in the right
Mood?
emotion.
Okay.
Not mood, it's more like emotion.
Emotion.
What I'm feeling that. The first song, the first proper single that I for the previous EP titled I've Been Sad. So someone broke my heart 2 years ago. And I think, was it 2 years ago, 2016? 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I made that song overnight, just one night, and instantly it got hundreds of plays within few days. And I have to get in the right state of emotion, because I feel like because a lot of people have been asking me what is my music, the genre what is the genre of my music. I keep on telling them that I don't know, and how I started it is also very it's very unplanned, because the moment I open my Ableton on, I straight away think of like the right instrument. That's the most important. The right instrument, and the chords. Then come the chords, which is when I'm happy I do major, when I'm sad I do D minor progression stuff. Yeah. So then only I think about the beat, then I always try to make it different. I don't want it
The same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I don't want it to sound like some other musician. So therefore I have like, okay, this is the sort of like final song. People would say this is the final song, but how do I make it different from here? So yeah, I try to make it different.
What would be your like inspiration in music, or greatest mentor from afar that you look up to right now?
I have mentor as a whole, I would say Björk. It's a very, very interesting filmmaker. Not filmmaker, musician. I would say she's an artist rather than just a musician. She's a she's produced, she write her own songs, and she's very, and she taught me to be different, she taught me a lot about being myself and all that. And it's very, very important for musicians, filmmakers, or artists as a general. They need to find themselves first. And to me, the moment you found yourself, and you already have your own signature in whatever you're doing, and from there you just have to do it, to do your stuff. Start from there, because it's very hard when you try to copy someone else, because where do you think you'll be going if you keep on copying someone else?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna proud of that the next 10 years? Because if you copy someone else and no one pointed it out, and it's just you who know that you copied someone else, are you gonna lie to yourself in the next 10 years? So
it's about originality, right?
Yeah, originality is not just, I don't think anything is original nowadays. It's just that you have to be yourself, even
as authentic as possible, right?
Yeah, I mean, people can find like 10 producers that do the same music as me, but I can safely say I do it myself, because I don't copy anyone at all. I don't have reference or whatsoever. I mean, I do have reference, but my reference tend to be very, very different than my music, because I only look at structure of a song rather than melody of a song. So the structure is more like I study the musical structure.
Okay.
So I sort of like alter it to my music. Yeah.
Cool, bro. Wow. So, where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? It's in the close 2 years. What would be a direction that you're heading for? More films, more short films, or a sequel perhaps to Kembara, or maybe a more an official album release, LP.
I'm releasing an album this year or probably next year. Depends on my
2018
timing.
or 2019.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and then I'm gonna work. I'm also planning on an audio visual, like semi music video, semi short film kind of thing.
Wow.
Alongside the album, and at the same time, I'm currently writing a feature project with my friends for a feature film, like a long
feature film.
So it's a lot of things actually. I cannot predict for the next 2 years.
So definitely within the film and music scenes.
I'm trying to balance both, because I would say I still in love with both medium of storytelling.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say I do music for the sake of telling stories too, because it's very to me, my music is very conceptual. I just want to tell something about it.
Yeah, man, you can feel the emotion without words, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What would be your deepest fear, bro?
My deepest fear would be not having enough time.
Not having enough time.
Yeah, I mean, not being able to. Yeah, and this is that I'm afraid of not having enough time to do whatever I want. Like I'm not happy enough by the time I die, or I didn't achieve like a goal or achievement to myself that I've set myself in my life before I die. It's just that I would think death.
And not to
Yeah.
sound morbid, yeah, but you think you're afraid of death.
I'm not afraid of death.
You're not afraid
It's
of
just
death.
that
You're just afraid of running out of time.
yeah, I mean I don't mind facing death if I have like critically acclaimed music or film out there somewhere. I can die by then. You know.
You're afraid that you don't have enough time to create what you want, or express how you feel.
Yeah, I can. I don't mind facing death the moment I have a good album that I produce myself that no one listened to yet. Only I feel like, oh, it's good.
Right.
Then only I can die. If someone wants to, publish that somewhere, publish my music after my death, I don't mind at all. As long as I'm satisfied with my work. It's more like not having that time of satisfied with my own stuff.
Right. I guess as every artist struggles, I guess. Right? A little bit here and there.
Yeah, maybe because they're very insecure about their own work. I don't get why artists very insecure with their own work.
I guess we all have dealt with dark days, right? And I'm sure you have as well, with anxiety and dark days. How do you actually escape that? How do you find happiness in the midst of those like dark moments? Is it music itself, or do you go out? Do you meet friends?
I don't know. I personally never got out of
Never got out.
those.
Okay, but
because when people say about anxiety, depression, and all that thing, it's very very hard to put emotions into words, and to make people understand the tiresome and the all the negativity that have to face when having this stuck in this own world of anxiety, depression, and all that. Getting out, I mean, just to see the light of like happiness is through funny videos, and that's it.
Yeah, comedy.
Yeah, I mean, not comedy really. I don't like
Entertainment.
I don't like comedy.
Okay.
I enjoy stupid vines,
Right.
compilation. That's it.
Okay, let's say for someone probably 3 years or 5 years younger than you, who's going through the same thing like what you went through probably 5 years ago, what would be your advice for them to actually deal with those anxiety? Is it like create more stuff, or find family and friends? Who knows? You might have you could like help these people who are like had less experience than you. What would your advice be?
I feel like there are no worthy people to tell you to be happy rather than yourself. No one can tell you how your life should be if it's not yourself. Because to me, it would be hypocritical of me to say this, but I'm still finding myself. Therefore, I have not reached to that level. So, go find yourself.
Go find yourself.
And
know yourself.
Yeah, it's just that the moment you know yourself, it's more like a reflection, and you'll see everything. You'll see happiness. You'll see solution to your problems and a lot of stuff. So, because for example, when the person, when let's just say me, for example, if I want to face this problem, face a problem, let's just say, I just have to be myself rather than I'm faking it to be like, how would my friend react to this, this problem. So, because the moment that problem bounce back to you, you don't know how to react because you don't know how your friend react to it. For I hope I make sense.
I understand.
Like you just have to be yourself, because the moment you be genuine to yourself, everything will make sense.
Like you said, like it's like a mirror. The whole understanding and perspective towards the world changes once you get to know yourself, right?
So I have yet to reach that level.
What would be the one quality trait that you wish you had as a person?
I would say I wish I'm a very, very optimistic person. I would like to have these optimistic traits.
Oh, you would like to be more optimistic.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a very a lot of people have been telling me I'm a very, very pessimistic
I see.
person,
Alright.
and my reaction to that is just that it's good to have a pessimist person by your side, because
It's a
it's
bit
sort
of a
of like
reality.
a
Reality
harsh
check.
slap of reality.
Yeah.
I don't call it pessimist. I call it being realist.
Yeah. Okay, what would you like most about yourself? Not to sound narcissistic, but what are you most comfortable about yourself as a human being?
I would say, I'm a very, very genuine person. That's the most I can say about myself. Like, a lot of people have been telling me that. A lot of people have been telling me that I'm a very honest and genuine person, and that's one of the good traits that I have, that sort of like I can put in my music. The one of the things that I'm comfortable about putting into my music, being genuine to myself.
That's what you like most about yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
Alright. Cool.
Like I'm because I don't know. I don't like myself, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you're still finding that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know myself. What makes you think I know what I like?
Yeah.
So, but I can see myself as a very genuine person.
I guess
would say
it's a process. I guess soon enough you will find it, and you will be eventually comfortable in being in yourself, or being by yourself.
To those out there who face all this, I don't call this mental illness. I would say a very dark moments in life. When you have dark clouds on your head, it's just that try your best to cover your head before the rain pours down, because you just don't let it wet on you too much, because you will get fever soon, and it's gonna hurt you so much. So maybe just a hand covering your face or your head from the rain pouring down on you is more than enough.
Try to find shelter.
Like when the dark clouds is just hanging on your head.
Cool.
Just try your best to cover yourself from the rain, because it will just follow you.
Oh, I really appreciate that sincerity, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to talk about this issues, and I don't know, it's just so hard to talk to people about this stuff, and I never really encountered a very...
Especially in Malaysia, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, they always call it mental illness. I mean, what do you mean by a mental illness? Like, I got diagnosed with the doctor gave me prescriptions over stuff, and oh fuck, it's recorded.
All good.
No, I mean, I when I was in foundation, I was diagnosed, and I stopped medication 3 months after I was, the doctor the psychiatrist prescribed me, because I don't believe in having anyone to tell me how to. But they will say it's the chemical imbalance. It's really up to you people to think about how they want to deal with this. If they feel like pills will make them happy, then go ahead. If you feel like if you believe that your stuff is stronger, then yeah, sure. So,
Right. Thank you so much for that. Let's go back to a little bit about film, right? I remember this one thing that stick to me was you talk about the Malaysian film industry, how they are not willing to pay for musicians, how they are not willing to pay for film score, whereas they would go for a certain cinematographer to get a certain look.
That
right?
argument.
Yeah,
Yes.
they get a certain look, but they don't pay the same amount. They don't even look for the certain sound that a musician has to offer, right?
Yeah, we have yet to have our own Hans Zimmer. We have yet to have our own Mika Levy or Stephen Price or whatsoever. The reason why Malaysian don't have this well-known film composer is because we don't encourage them. We don't, because I, as a musician, I need to make money. Therefore, I have to cater to whatever music they're making. So my type of music will never show in films. So to me, if only I accept jobs based on like for example, if they want my kind of sound, then only I accept the job. Rather than I accept the job even though they want to sound like classical music, which I don't enjoy doing much. So if we as musicians come together and accept all these jobs accordingly based on our own type of music, I think not long after that we will have our own better, maybe Hans Zimmer or J. Rolf or whatever, all these music composer, because we don't have those people yet. Because when I made that argument on Instagram, a lot of people have been telling me, "Oh, you're wrong.
Oh, really?
Cinematographers don't get much paid." But that's the thing. Musical rights are hard. I'm not talking about the payment or anything. I'm arguing the fact that they don't have their own sound. They sound the same. All 3 Malaysian composer, they will have the same sound.
Because they are catering towards that commercial.
Yeah, the commercial sound. I mean, you can be commercial at the same time you have your own sound. Hans Zimmer is a fucking blockbuster film composer, but he has his own style to his composition.
Yeah,
he has his
definitely.
own signature to it.
True.
And yeah, we have yet to have our own great film.
So where do you think Malaysian film industry is heading if they are not willing to open to that sense of expertise, or they're not willing to invest in those? Do you think they're lack of funds, or they are lack of knowledge in terms of distributing the funds?
I think it's more on the lack of priority, because
they want to save the money, right?
Not really. They just don't care.
They just don't care about the music.
Yeah, I just feel like they don't care. They just like, they don't have like a specific. They don't research on the musician, you know. Like they just say, "Oh, I know this studio who do this sound. Oh, I want this thriller sound, so therefore I will go to this studio." Like they don't know any specific musician to hire. So the music, the production house who the director hired, they have to cater to that sound rather than, you know, macam like any of them who you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say. Cool. But why do you think what would differentiate us from our neighbors like Indonesia and Thailand, for example, with their film industry? Do you think they are way better than us?
I wouldn't say they're way better than us because they had early start. They had huge population. I think the reason why Malaysia is so kind of backward in film industry is because we accept outside film too much. If we don't, because if we start, the reason why Thailand or Indonesia have a very, very strong film industry is because they are very how do you say, when it comes to their mother language, they are very proud of it. Therefore, they're not going to let it go. So that's their number one language.
They're proud of who they are as a country. Right?
Because of their local language, the film industry is booming there, you know. So I think last year, I'm not sure about the statistic, but I can tell top 10 film highest grossing from last year is mostly American film, American English language film, because a lot of Malaysian speaks English, a lot of Malaysian understand English way more. When it comes to ratio, we have a lot of more English speakers than Indonesian have.
Yeah.
So this is ratio based. So therefore, they're looking at our industry and Hollywood films. They say, better spend 16 ringgit on Hollywood film rather than watching this crap. So there's no encouragement for Malaysian film to be better because there's not much pressure on them.
Yeah, cool.
So they just don't want to be better. Yeah.
How do you think we can improve Malaysia?
Have a lot of filmmakers. That's the only way. Just send a lot of filmmakers to the film school and they'll come out great. I think to make the industry better is for the government to fund good filmmakers.
Not just any filmmakers, but good filmmakers.
Good filmmakers. Right? You know that the FINAS recently got probe under MCC
for
the Malaysian Commission for Corruption.
Shit. Yeah. Oh, okay. So we are not giving the right funds to the right people.
Yeah. That's the thing. For the last 60 years.
Holy shit.
For I don't know, since FINAS started or whatever, because they sort of like.
Imagine if it was done properly. Imagine where P. Ramlee be, right?
Yeah, I mean, P. Ramlee was never celebrated in Malaysia until his passing.
Yeah. That's why he didn't get the right funds. You know, he was not treated right.
Yeah.
And he had all these visions, but he had to struggle, man. Right?
That's very sad, lah. That's harsh.
So hopefully with this new Malaysia, we are heading somewhere new, I guess.
Yeah, the new Minister for Communication and I'm not sure, but the new minister that going to overlook, going to supervise FINAS is, I think he has a better plan for Malaysian industry, and I hope it's gonna be fine. I really hope Malaysian is gonna be
cool.
More open, more.
Yeah, dude. Open your mind.
Yeah, I mean,
be open with everything.
Be more daring with your ideas. Be more daring when it comes to whatever you watch. Don't close yourself just because you like a certain genre doesn't mean you can't watch Lars von Trier film. You know, Lars von Trier film is like very erotic film, and I wouldn't say erotic, but yeah, I mean, I would love to see a reaction of a conservative girl watching Antichrist or Nymphomaniac, because when will they ever watch it in their life? Like, I don't know. I know it's mean, but I'm not forcing down their throat. It's more like
you want them to have an open mind.
Yeah, right? Like, dude, watch this.
Change, right? That's how you change. You need to open your mind and accept the possibilities to evolve.
My theory is that the reason why people don't accept things around them, for example, what is the current issue that is like going on online among the millennials that I'm aware of? For example, LGBT stuff. When it comes to LGBT community in Malaysia, I think the reason why the conservatives don't accept gay people is because they never know an individual who is, I don't know, LGBT. I think the reason why people don't accept is because they don't understand in the first place.
They can't relate.
They can't relate. They don't understand. They don't like new things. They don't like changes. They don't like stuff that is like contradict to their own belief. And to me, that is very primitive, and that is what sets you back. That is what holding you back from going forward. So everything has to change in life. So like it or not, people are going to change regardless of your thing. Oh, I have to fight for these rights or whatever. But in the end, things are moving forward. If you're gonna stay that way, you will left behind. Natural selection, bro. It will take you down. Yeah.
True. Okay, what would be the best investments you've made throughout your sort of learning process with music and films?
Best investment, as in money investment?
I don't know, in terms of investments in your craft.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Let me think. What did I ever put out there so far? I had a lot of breakdowns, I think. For you mean for one particular project, is it?
Anything. It could be anything
Yeah,
that you're
I
willing
mean,
to share.
The best investment that I've ever made in my life is to sacrifice my feelings to do my craft. Because whatever I'm doing, I'm just this is how I label my music. If my emotion have mouth or something to, if my emotion can be heard, this is what it sounds like. Therefore, I'm sacrificing myself to have these shitty feelings, to make all this music out, to have these films out, for example.
Right. So you sort of lose yourself in the process?
I lose myself a lot of times.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean,
what would be the one unusual habit or absurd thing about yourself that you like the most or you love the most?
I talk to myself.
You talk to yourself a lot. That's cool.
I talk to myself a lot, and it kind of it's healthy. I think people should try talking to yourself, because what's good about talking to yourself is that you can see how you interact to other people, and there's no one else to judge you but yourself. So when you talk to yourself, it's a very good habit of improving your social skills and improving your way of talking to people and improve your way of putting the right words to say. And I think people need to practice more on talking to themselves before they start to talk to other people.
All right, cool. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be apart from Malaysia?
I never thought of going outside of Malaysia, but I think it would be France.
France.
The only reason why I don't want to go there yet is because I'm not
You speak French, right? A little bit.
No.
You tried to learn
A
it.
bit. I'm like 10%.
You look French, dude. For
Ah,
some weird reason.
I look French.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
My lecturer will be so proud.
Okay, what would be the, like, this one you have to recall a little bit. What would be the best advice you've ever received throughout your lifetime? Could be from your mom and dad or anyone around you.
Let me think. Advice as in What do you mean by advice? Advice as in something that is, someone told me to improve myself better or something.
Yeah, it could be the best, like, hey, don't worry so much about money. Money is just paper. That kind
I
of thing.
see.
Where the one that actually stuck to you throughout your
The
life.
most.
Yeah, the most.
I move on from people a lot, so I don't seem to recall, but I think this is like not from someone, but I think it was from a speaker. Always listen to people before you talk. Always observe, listen, talk. Always observe the nature of the situation. So, and then you hear what they have to say. Then only you react to your words. I think that's the best thing that could be applied to anything, like any situation, like in any position that you're currently in. You just observe, listen, talk.
Speak soft, listen harder. Speak soft, listen harder.
Yeah.
So listen more.
It's not just speak soft or listen harder. It's just understanding the whole picture first
Before you give any input.
Yeah, it's always listen to both sides, and you observe to get the picture right, and then you hear, because a conversation is not a conversation. A conversation is not a conversation if both parties are not listening to each other. Yeah.
Cool. All right, this is the moment where I give you a little break and let us flip the script and give you a chance to ask me anything. And because I've asked you a lot of questions today, and this is your chance to ask me anything apart from the questions that I've asked you today, and also anything but the podcast.
Huh?
Yeah, you can ask me anything apart from the podcast. All the questions that I've asked you today.
Random. I'm gonna be as random. Do you want a question that makes me want to know you more, or a question out of
It's up to you. Because I'm comfortable with anything.
I see.
You can go anywhere. Yeah, I don't have any filter.
Why are you still alive? What makes you keep on living?
Why am I still alive? I would say, because I'm not gonna lie, that I have dealt with depression. I have dealt with dark days, and to be honest, I have thought of like what would it be like if I was not around. I guess every artist has that struggle, right? Of it's not so much cliche as a suicidal thought, but it's more of like, what if I don't exist?
I
know?
see.
And why am I still alive today? I don't want to sound corny, but I am doing this for my mother actually. I'm sticking around so that I can, because for the hard work that she's given me, man. I mean, for the hard work and for the sacrifice she's poured to get me where I am today, or not just me, my family and our circle, and also I just want to be grateful, man. The universe have given us a lot. The universe, the God, or whatever you want to call it, right, has put us here for our soul to learn a lesson. I think to actually get like grow from it and then move on to another life or another process after life.
I see.
You can put it in a context of like the religious context or not. But my perspective right now is I just want to learn and grow, let my soul grow, and then continue. Yeah, that is why I am still alive today.
I see.
Yeah.
Next question. Why do you think Nah.
Go for it, man. If it's sensitive, just go for it.
It's not sensitive. I think it's
boring.
It's just stupid. When was the last time you cried?
Oh.
And why?
The last time I cried.
Yes.
The last time I cried was when I had to separate myself from the person that I used to date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not separate as in breakup, but separate as in it will never be the same. It's one process to another. It's a separation. The separation from a former lover made me cry, and that was the last.
A separation of a former lover.
Yeah.
What was that?
What was that?
How is that? I don't.
How was that?
Get it.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, I mean a separation of.
It's like you broke up with someone, but you're still close to them. Not really you're broke up.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
You understand? What was the confusing part?
The whole thing.
Picture.
I lost it when you said the former
lover.
Okay, you close with your ex partner.
Okay.
and then
you
have to separate because
it's time to move on. Do you know that when there's a I don't know if you ever been into a relationship where it gets
I had 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. When it gets to like another level where you sort of are accustomed to their existence. That means you always had them. And then you you had to move on. Like you have to sort of get on with life, right? Okay, but it's not just mentally but physically. The moment when this would be the last time in a long time for us to be together, to hang out, for example, right? And then right after that separation, the recall of past memories made me cry. So after all,
I know it's very nostalgic.
It is.
Yeah, it's so sad because I'm a sucker for nostalgic shit. So imagine you separated with someone and you go through to their no longer activated Twitter, for example.
Oh yeah.
And then you look through their tweets and this how he was back then. He was a bit it's more like you saw a tweet way before you were with that person, for example. And then you macam rasa macam this person is a bit weird back then, but that person was never like that when together. It's just kind of make me feel like, damn, I wonder what you're doing now, you know? It's kind of macam a sucker for nostalgic stuff. Yeah, I think I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's a vulnerability, man. And as far I don't know, I think it's cool for men to cry, you know what I mean?
I don't think
it's cool because some people, they are like, you're a dude, you shouldn't cry. I mean, it's not like they say it out loud, but
they have the mindset.
Yeah. So I'm cool with that. I'm also a sucker for nostalgic stuff, and I'm also very emotional. The only difference is I try not to revisit the past, because by revisiting the past, you will end up breaking your own heart. So I try to once I get into that clutter, oh shit, man, this is happening again, then I move on and try to be positive. I then pray that it doesn't repeat itself, because the past repeat itself, where lightning does strike in the same place twice all the time.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Okay, who do you suggest that I feature on the podcast apart from our circle of friends? Apart from the people that I know, like for example, MMU students. Oh, I mean, not really. I don't know everyone, but who do you suggest that I feature on the podcast?
There are quite a number of people that would suggest.
Maybe name 2
2,
or 3. Yeah,
3.
2 or 3 depends on you.
I think the more the merrier. There's a friend of mine who does a very, very fantastic music who featured in my EP, Victoria. Yeah, I think she watched your
Victoria. Okay, she watched.
She watched one of your.
What's her username? I mean, what's her stage name? Whatever that.
Victoria.
Victoria. Okay.
With a K.
Okay.
Victoria with a K. Yeah, you can just simply search her on my following list.
Sure.
And there's this wonderful girl, a very, very interesting person, really. I'm not really close to her, but I really admire her as a person because she's very talented, and to me, she seems very sophisticated. It's more like she's a very intelligent being. Her name is Lurkgirl, Lurkgurl. You need to listen to her music. She's so amazing.
Lurkgrl.
Lurkgirl, yeah.
Nice. Cool.
She did songs for my Kembara. It's more like I asked her permission to use her songs for Kembara, and her songs are super amazing. I'm quite surprised that a lot of people don't know her. She deserves more attention, dear Malaysians. Yeah. She's a rather interesting person.
So the two of them.
Yeah.
Two of them, huh? Any future projects that you want, or any specific person that you want your future projects to have a collaboration with? That who do you seek to collaborate with in the future?
Someone that have the possibilities, or someone that I
you
dream of.
You dream of. Let's make it local, I guess, within our reach. And
within my reach.
Within our, is in like in Southeast Asia, for example.
Southeast Asia. I don't really know much of a Southeast Asian musician, so I think I would want to work with Lurkgirl, even though I asked her for a collaboration, but I never finished it.
Any film?
Yet. Film.
Yeah.
I would want to work.
Any actors, for example, or
I'm a very, very, how to say, grounded person. I'm not very but I would love to work with Sharifah Amani.
Sharifah Amani.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice. That is.
She still has that. She has the indie vibe that I like.
She is forever young, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, before I go to the last question, how can people find you on social media?
On social media, I'm mostly known as Madullar. It's everywhere on my. Madullar is my stage name, so you can look me on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Madullar, Madulllar. Madulllar, sorry. And my pseudonym would be Epiphysius Alanis.
Yeah, what would that mean, by the way? Epiphysius Alanis.
I want a name that is very, very because when you Google Epiphysius, it's not.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist at all. I think it was Epheus. I think Epheus exists, or Atheus. I think it's a Bible verse, if I'm not mistaken.
Alright.
I saw on my friend's purse, Epheus.
Okay.
But I want to make it more Greek-like, so change it to Epiphysius. Alanis is a Greek surname, so I make it sound Greek. So when people see me, they might think I'm Greek.
So right.
Yeah.
Greek or French, a little bit of Greek and French.
Very Eurocentric.
Yeah. Okay, the last question would be, what would be your last piece of advice for someone watching this 30 years from now, right? Who doesn't know what they want to do in their life, who doesn't know their purpose in their life. How do they find it, and how do they get one step closer to actually live their dreams or understand themselves, to get to know themselves as a person, as a human being, as a soul?
Um, I don't want to break it to you, but when people ask me to for an advice, right, especially about life or whatever, the only just like what I mentioned earlier, what the only person that stops you from moving forward is you. No one else can tell you to be happy about you. No one can tell you what you can be but yourself. So to me, always find yourself first, and the moment you find yourself, you have all the answers. Everything that you want to question, you will question yourself, and straight away you will get the answer because you will have yourself to answer that. If you ask yourself a lot of questions but there's no one answering for you, that's because you never find yourself yet. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you want in life. You don't know what how to handle these um, problems or whatsoever. So I think it is it might sound so cliche and so yucky to tell people to find themselves, but this it's very important. If you don't know yourself, who are the other people to tell you who you are in the first place? Who am I telling you to be what you should be? I can tell you to be who you are, but what if yourself is that person? What if yourself is that person who likes to imitate? That's your style. That's yourself. You know, like I cannot tell you to do stuff, but you can decide your own life. I don't have the pen to your notebook of life. I don't have the right to even touch and open your book unless you ask me to write something for you. And the only thing that I can write is just a sentence rather than the whole passage for you. Because no one have a time for you, to be honest. No one in life, no one really give a shit about you in the first place. The only reason why people give a shit is because they want something in return. That's the harsh reality, because even though the kindest person, they will expect a little piece of appreciation. There is something in return. There is something there is still something that they want, an appreciation. So I mean, everyone has their own agenda in life. So, why would you care about people telling you what to be or who you should be if it's not yourself telling you?
So the closest thing that anyone could do to actually get to know themselves, what would that be?
Meditation. Always meditate. Meditate is very because if you just sit, no other noises, no other disruption, you will be with no one but yourself. Trust me, it's very helpful. People just don't know how powerful tool it is for to be more spiritual, because a lot of people just pray because the concept of praying is between you and God. But I think that's the I don't know, that's the error of it, because you shouldn't need another figure to tell you, to do stuff. Because God create us with free will. Because just like I said, like no one, because the concept of praying is between you and God, and I don't know, it's just that you should look at things differently now. You need to just be yourself, find yourself, and yeah, yourself is more important than anything else in this world. So the moment you find yourself, you have the answer to everything, and the only way to go there, to reach the state of you finding yourself, is you meditate and always. If you're looking for yourself, try to distance from other people. Yeah, that's kind of important too if you want to look for yourself. And yeah, coming from someone who never find themselves yet, it's kind of ironic for me telling you this.
Distance yourself from other people, separate yourself, meditate. In the midst of knowing yourself, you will find your purpose and also find your passion in life.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
Wow. Thank you so much, Syukri Rahim.
Madullar, aka
Ephistius Alanis.
Hello Kopi Milo podcast. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks for
having
being
me.
part of this journey.
Okay.
Swag.
Hello, Kopi Milo. Thanks for the coffee. I think it's.
Hello, Kopi Milo podcast. Milo Faeqo signing out.
Nice.